All right, everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, having a little bit of a delay. There's some meetings going on with some pretty high-level people with Galliano and Paolo, but they will be joining us shortly. In the meantime, we're going to have some other people coming in. We're going to have Kirchen, who is the production manager. He's in charge of running everything on the production line, so we will have him joining us very, very soon. So just stay tuned for that. I hope you guys are enjoying this and you're getting some good information out of it, and you like what you're seeing. You know, our job here at Dave Cooper Live is just we put out the content. I do give my opinion on it. I'm not paid to be here by Boxabl. Just I want to make it very clear. All of our content is live and unedited. Now, am I a big supporter of offsite construction? I absolutely am. I believe in it. But I also know it's not the easiest thing to do. We travel the world. In fact, we'll be in Europe for 5 weeks, starting the first week of July, right after the 4th, and we'll be in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and Italy on a tour. And we'll be filming over there, showing how they do innovation, how they do construction. You know, whether it's industrialized construction, which means many things like modular and panelization, CLT, mass timber, all of those things if you're interested in it. And the same as like Boxabl, ADUs. You know, there's some Italian companies that do a similar type folding house on occasion, but we will be there showcasing and covering all that. So if you're not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe. We'd love to have you watching and take it from there. So I'm going to see, I got to turn off and we'll come back on to LinkedIn here in a minute, but LinkedIn only lets you stream for so long during the day, so you have to come back in. If you're going to come on, it has to be through YouTube, or I got to stop and start it all the time. So it's sending the data again. Let's see if we can get it back out there, because we are going to have a show. Christian's here. Come on, have a seat, Christian. All right. Great. I'm just reconnecting. Unfortunately, LinkedIn only lets you go a couple hours at a time. Let's have you. You're going to have to get a little bit, we're going to have to buddy up. You know what I mean?
All right. Sounds good.
All right. So let's see if we get that back up. All right. So we're back on LinkedIn as well. Hey, everybody, we're live streaming from Boxabl as well. LinkedIn, if you don't know this, you got to let us stream longer than just a couple hours. I can't just stop and reconnect. For the rest of you out there, just go to our YouTube channel. We can stream 24 hours a day live. So, Christian, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do here at Boxabl.
Yeah, I'm Kirchen. I'm the Director of Manufacturing here at Boxabl. Basically anything related to the production of the units, developing our manufacturing concepts, supply chain quality, everything required to run the operations, basically.
All right, so it's funny. Right before you walked in, I was telling everybody about our European trip coming up.
There you go.
Starts in Germany, right? Obviously, there's the German accent I'm hearing. Where are you from in Germany?
The city is Trier. It's right by the corner of Luxembourg and France.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when it comes to construction in Germany, Austria, because in all those areas over in Europe, it's much different than what we see here, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and
much older.
Well, yeah, I mean, the architecture's older, but they're using a lot of CLT and mass timber and the way they build. So, Boxabl, how long have you been here now?
Exactly 1 year, but almost a year.
Exactly 1 year. And you're loving Las Vegas. We got to talk a little bit yesterday. You came by. You were hiking the hills, and it was snowing.
Yep, it was snow, and 10 minutes later, it's like 62 degrees, just going down the elevation.
Just going down the elevation.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of responsibility. So we talked about the supply chain earlier in the show, right? The production side of this. Why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the pros, cons, maybe some of the challenges you're faced with on a day-to-day? Because I'm assuming this is ever evolving.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's ever evolving, like you said. We are very much in the R&D stage right now, prototyping, working on the design, you know, and all those topics. But it is it's so clear, the vision, how it comes to life, and how the opportunity it is to become more to life. It's just so tremendous. I mean, the biggest thing we have going on for us is the product is designed for mass production, right? That's where it all starts. If you design a product and have to think about, okay, how is the robot going to do that down the road? How are we going to break down these tasks in small increments that we can do it, in 1 minute or less, like a car. And you can see that so clearly how everything is thought along that line. And that is just the really tremendous opportunity we have.
Yeah, it really is a tremendous opportunity. In that mass production, that's kind of the goal, right? I mean, you're not there yet.
No, and we're nowhere near yet.
Yeah.
However, we have already the next stage manufacturing concept. All the capital investment has been made, and the equipment is in the final stages, of getting completed by our suppliers. And it's going to start coming in April, May, in our lamination line, paint line. There's a lot of conveying going on where we today have a lot of manual movements and different things. So all of that is in line for our next generation upgrade.
So earlier, if you weren't with us out there, we did a factory tour. We recently just finished up about a half hour, 45 minutes ago. We live streamed an actual Boxabl being unfolded.
Yeah.
So with that said, if you're out there watching, you want to go see what the factory looks like today, you can go and see that. And we did the actual tour. It wasn't the Dave Cooper where I wasn't running the show, So Luis was running the show, and he was doing a really good job at it. And I just kind of went along, which is great because that's what 99% of the world hears, right? Or sees when they come here. How much different is the line going to be from what we saw today to when the new, equipment technology is put in place?
Oh, it's like 90% is going to be different. 90+%. I mean, you saw how we're transporting the units between the station is sitting on casters, and we have to go under and move them. They will be automatically moved by conveying systems. The panel lamination, all that's completely, basically everything in this building is going to be out. It's like all new.
So it's funny, when I was here 2 years ago and I was walking the lines with Gali and Paolo, we talked a little bit about like this is the beginning process of a longer journey.
Right.
And I say this all the time. So for a lot of people that are just watching this and trying to understand what's going on here, where you start a factory, if you do not start a factory, at least in my opinion, completely loaded to the hilt, with all the product and material, unless, and I say unless, you're somebody like an Autovol that has, 100 years experience already in modular wood construction. But when you're starting something you haven't done before and something new, you gotta proof out the concepts, the IP, and get it functioning right. So you guys mostly did all of this yourself, but now you've brought in some outside resources that are experts in this field, yes?
Yeah. Well, first of all, we have some very talented employees. We target employees with, like myself, background automotive industry, manufacturing automotive industry, because that's what we are mirroring basically here. And, to your point, there is a gradual progression, right? You first of all, vehicles been mass produced for long, right? But houses have not, right?
Yeah.
And we are at the forefront of it all. And it starts with having the design ready for the manufacturing. We have that going for us. And now we're taking just a gradual approach. Okay, we're going to increase our capacity, times 10, basically. And then we're going to go, up to our 50 to 75,000 units a year, basically make it like a car. And it's clearly possible, but can you go from building 2 a day to 200-300 in a year or two? No, it's not realistic. And I really like that about the organization. We have a clear path, a clear plan, and we're going to execute it. Yeah.
Well, and that's kind of what I'm seeing here, because I keep hearing from everybody this the new lines are coming, and the new iterations of what it is as it's growing. In fact, when we were doing our live stream, we actually saw a baby Boxabl come out the door, which was just born. It was kind of funny, and going to sit with its other brothers and sisters getting ready for ship. But technology-wise, what do you guys on the line? Will your factory software, such as the automation, talk to the design? Will the design send that data on what has to happen?
Yes, so there's multiple systems and solutions we're actually already in the process of implementing. First of all, it's like a MES, manufacturing execution system solution that is directly interfacing with the operator.
Yeah.
Then there's the ERP system, which, you generate your work orders. They're going to get broadcast to the production line. The operator is going to pick the work order and we produce. And it's going to give clearly step-by-step instructions, work instruction, what to do, along with all the necessary poka-yokes, the quality checks, measuring time, cycle time, target times, anything you can imagine that's important for the operation. The operator will go through that. Of course, down the road, we want to, you order a car online, you go pick your color, you pick your tires, your wheels, whatever you want. That's clearly a vision for us too, the customization, and it goes from that experience when the customer places the order straight to the production line, right?
That's right.
The next model is going to have 2 doors and 3 windows, and it's all automatically, the software solution supporting that, and of course our manufacturing processes as well.
It's interesting, and I don't really want to use this analogy, but I have to use it, right? We look at Tesla, right? And I know Elon Musk, a big to do with, Boxabl and YouTube and whatever that case is. I don't really care, but I think you can go on their website and you can pick your car, you can order your car, you can pick your colors and everything and order it straight online. You're saying that's the way Boxabl will end up eventually getting to, where you can just place this order and pick everything you want and customize it based on whatever customizations that are allowed in the next iteration of what you're doing?
Yeah, that's the vision down the road. That's not going to happen within a year or so, but clearly, in the future, it's a part of our concept.
Sure. And so can we jump into the automation a little bit? When we talk about automation, are we looking at like your typical automated robotic arms, picking and moving, suction cup panel, moving the walls and what have you? How much automation is there versus how much labor you have now? What's the change going to be? And how does that affect the workforce?
Yeah. First of all, if it's very difficult to automate something if the operator already has a hard time doing it, right? You have a screw and you got to tweak it in to get it in and all that. Well, forget about automation, right?
Yeah.
And that's, again, it's the design. And so simplifying every step by step, breaking it down to the minuscule task, all the way up to how much you turn, where's the tool located, where's the material located. So those are very important things to optimize, eliminating all the waste. Once, and we already have a lot of these tasks, they could be automated today, but once that is simplified on that level, you do smart automation, right? Automation is not good for every task or everything, because you can clearly automate yourself to a level of complete inefficiency.
Sure.
And that's, I think we have a very good path on that as well. We're automating the tasks that make sense right now.
Yeah.
And then, we're going, today we have 11 stations, we're going to go to 20 station, the next manufacturing concept, and then it's probably be like a number of 100. So you have to decide what are you going to do in what station first. And then you look, okay, what are the tasks that to be automated? Okay, we're picking up a wall with a crane, and the operator needs to move it and put it in place. Clearly, that's a good task for automation because, it just eliminates so much time and can make it more efficient. And that's the areas we will focus on.
Sure.
Painting, for example, easy to automate, right?
Yep.
Technology's there, no problem. And then again, okay, our things are, cedar is heavier than, even a vehicle or so. So you got to think about some of that level too, how you create this new equipment and processes to do it.
What is the Achilles heel of the production line right now? What takes you the longest to do?
We are actually pretty well balanced today, but there is still some, aligning the walls, for example, assembling the panels. There is no automation today. It's you pick it up in a crane, you line it up, you put it in place. So that's definitely, time consuming. The roof installation, you got to lift it up, put it on top. So there's, some of these tasks that are time consuming. Electrical, some of the plumbing work, but all of those, in future, we're going to bring it out of the main assembly line as a sub-assembly, right? It's like a car, they don't finish the dash at the assembly line. It's all done. It's just thrown in the car basically at the station. And that's exactly what we are working on doing as well. And a lot of that already is in place. And that's what enables you, you know, for smart automation, really.
Yeah, for sure. What is the timeline to get this up to where it needs to be?
I mean, this next reiteration, we will be having fully implemented in less than a year, you know, already. And then, of course, will you see, you know, fully automated lights out factory? That no. But, you know, our future factory, we like to call Boxabl, right, is definitely going to have all these elements.
Right.
And we're looking probably 4 years for that.
Oh, well, Boxabl.
Yeah, Boxabl.
I finally figured out what I finally figured out where the fabulous came from today too, with the fabs that were taking us around.
Yeah, we got some cool names.
Yeah, well, you know what? You got to keep it fun and make it interesting and exciting for people out there. So, Derek Coburn, that's he says, "Good to see you, Derek. I hope all is well. We're back on LinkedIn, everybody, which is great." He says, "What are your most exciting DFI, design for manufacturing improvements that you're interested in?"
I think it's a lot of it is the walls, the finishing of the walls. Very interesting for us because if you paint it or you have to mud it and we have to dry it and then you sand it down, you know, that's not very inefficient. So that's a huge focus topic for us. For sure. And then also when we install the units in the field, unpacking them, I mean, we showed it earlier, it was like, 31 minutes, right? We measured. So we can unpack these units pretty quick, but we'd like to automate that a little better too, you know.
Yeah.
There's some inefficiencies definitely there. And once the unit is unpacked, there's some finishing touches we need to do. So we got to overcome those challenges for sure.
So when my Boxabl arrives in 10 years from now or 5 years from now, whenever I can get one, do you see it going to the point where I just hit a button and it unfolds itself?
Yeah, that is definitely part of our vision. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's and then without having to do a lot of additional work after it's unfolded as well.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Derek, just so you guys know also, this is not Galliano. He will be joining us. He ended up getting pulled into a meeting.
Yeah.
So I think we'll get back. We'll be with Galliano, hopefully. If not tonight, we'll get with him tomorrow. But we're definitely getting with Paolo today. So we'll be able to get some of those other answers out there that you guys may or may not have. Unfortunately, there's so many comments. I'm not going to be able to go through them all. And we're live streaming and in between all of this. Let's kind of talk, you know, in regards to the incremental steps that you're speaking of. If you were to give somebody advice out there, there's a lot of factories that want to get to the next level. You have a big investment here, and that makes it nice to be able to put some of these things in place and really have that vision. What do you think what would you say is the most important piece of advice, you know, from a production manager standpoint that you could give somebody that wants to start up in their game?
I guess understanding in a detailed level what it takes to put something together and how long each task takes, right? Yeah. That's a big piece. You know, let's say you cut a piece of lumber and what you don't want to do, you cut it and then you have to measure it and then you have to go, oh, I got to correct that, file it down. You know, you got to have every single step that you're doing at a high level of accuracy. Your design's got to be right. You got to understand your stack up, you know, tolerancing. And, you know, and having that understanding is the foundation to, you know, get you going, get you started, you know, really.
So, you know, I think that, and I see Gilbert. I know Gilbert. I've just been running. Definitely, I'll get to you. Gilbert Meyer's going to come on. He's in Honduras. We're going to talk about his manufacturing in Honduras, which is cool. Hey, you might want to tune in. Are you going to be up at 12 o'clock tonight?
I can be, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna be live streaming from a factory in Vietnam.
Cool.
TLC Modular. They had just got a big investment from Goldman Sachs.
Wonderful.
A couple months back. Maybe it's almost a year. Everything starts running together for sure. So yes, I haven't forgot about you, Gilbert. So I must have hit Derek's thing there. There's Gilbert right there. Yeah, we're gonna bring Gilbert on. We're gonna talk to him. I've just been a little tied up trying to make all the tech stuff work. All right, so Christian, you know, what's also I think really interesting about the factory is you guys are running 4 days a week, 10-hour shifts.
Yeah.
For the factory workers. why do you do it? And, what kind of productivity or outcome do you get out of running 410s versus, 5/8s?
Yeah. I mean, it's a favorable schedule, for the employees who wouldn't want to work for 10-hour shifts, right?
Yeah.
Have a long weekend every week. So that's obviously a little perk they get right now. And also, we're intentionally only producing on one shift right now because we are fine-tuning the design and optimizing our cost structure. Overall, huge opportunities there. We're following through, implementing those. And then, of course, Friday allows us to do some R&D activities. We got to press some special panels or use the equipment to run prototyping and all that. So that's really the main reason, along with the employee morale, why we're doing it.
Sure. Will you guys ever produce your own steel here?
Our own skill?
Steel.
I mean, vertical integration is a big part of our strategy. And I mean, you just saw the foam, right? And that's a tremendous saving for us. But we're not stopping there. We're going to be making our own foam eventually. Steel, we can make a lot of our own steel parts. It just doesn't stop. I mean, anything going in the units, there's so much opportunity on our radar. Optimizing our material cost structure that we can and will execute at the right time.
Sure. What am I not talking about, Kirchen? Am I missing something here? I mean, you seem to have all the right answers. You guys are working on the tech stack. It sounds like you're looking to vertically integrate, which I think is a good move as well, as long as it's done smartly, for sure. Is there any innovative materials out there that you guys are looking at, or that you can share with us that outside of what you're using now?
I mean, we are going to change some materials in our panels, reducing, things like lumber, constantly trying to optimize that for sure. But other than that, you've seen the units. There's really, of course, the appliances, they are the appliances. So there's not, of course, you can optimize your cost structure with that. But we're not going to make dishwashers or refrigerators, right? It just doesn't make sense. Cabinets, maybe, but there's a lot of companies that can do that better than us. So we focus on the right things that benefit us, the most. But a big piece of that is also developing independence of supply chain, right? Localize as much as we can, vertically integrate, what makes sense, become independent of especially overseas supplies.
Right.
A big piece for us as well. I mean, you ask about some other challenges or things we haven't talked about yet. Definitely, our workforce, you see the stage we're in, a lot of manual. So in the past, we hired plumbers, painters, and electricians and all that. And now we're transitioning, of course, out of that in a manufacturing plant. The skill level is going to be different. They're like production technicians that are going to be more task-oriented and continuous improvement-oriented. So that's a big piece that we are, of course, progressing into as well.
Well, and that's it. And it's going to be constantly evolving. I think, for kind of maybe the last question, and we'll wrap up here, is with the current manual labor that you have on the floor now, because everybody always worries that, bringing in new technology, bringing in robotics, any of those things could cost them jobs. How's that working in your manufacturing facility?
I think it's all about communication. Automate strategy is to automate, are really not to reduce your staff, right? You automate to become more profitable and have more business, grow your company, and actually hire more employees, right? It's just a matter of communication. And clearly, our roadmap for our headcount is going to increase into the thousands, right? And that's all about that, communicating that, hey, your job will change, but you have a job. But you might be doing something different. So you got to be flexible and be open for that. That's a clear expectation.
Yeah, for sure.
We have.
But that also creates a path forward.
Exactly. Yeah. We allow our employees to grow. We have career progression charts where they can develop into different roles, higher skilled roles with more pay or more opportunities, constantly.
Sure. Kirchen, thanks so much.
Hey,
man.
thank
Appreciate
you.
you coming on for a little bit. Just hold tight right there. Listen, everybody, we can only stay on LinkedIn. I think it's 3-4 hours, something like that. Keeps cutting us off, but that's just their policy. We are going to be on YouTube, so go to YouTube. Follow us on YouTube. That's where you need to be right now if you want to keep watching us. Or Twitch. I think maybe Twitter as well. But I know YouTube's a safe bet. Hey, what's up, Andrew Seeley? Good to see you, my friend. Hello from Santa Monica. Yeah, you're in the nice weather, too. I got to get some. It's a little cold today. You're like in short sleeve shirt. It's getting warmer now, though.
I've been in the Midwest for 20 years.
Right.
It's
warm.
warm.
This is true. Yeah, this is warm. But follow us. We're going to be back in just a little bit. We're either going to have Galliano on, Carrie, which is another big YouTuber. If you have watched any YouTube and watched some ADUs, he's supposed to be joining us as well. So let us check and see what we got going on. Derek had another question. Let me just see. Can you leverage the factory inspection process steps to reduce the skilled trade shortage, he says? I'll get to that real quick.
Oh.
Can you leverage the factory inspection process step to reduce the skill? Okay, so in other words, when you say the inspections, you're talking about third-party inspections, I'm assuming, Derek? How do you get your inspections for your home to meet code?
Well, of course, there's like plans, design plans, and within those specifications in the manufacturing process, we have to ensure, that we're meeting all those, right? Dimensional things, plumbing requirement, all these requirements. So they are have to be embedded in the manufacturing process, right? The objective is to minimize or have no inspections, right? And do it right the first time, right? And have the proper things in place to achieve that.
Right. Yeah, it's all about process, but you definitely got to have, that's what inspectors' jobs are, to make sure things are being done right.
Absolutely,
Whether, I know in offsite, in our world, modular, you have third-party inspection folks that are out there. But the one thing, that I believe with offsite is you have more people inspecting an offsite build home than you do a site build home.
Absolutely.
All day long.
Absolutely.
All eyes on deck, because we're playing with millimeters here. We're not playing with inches when it comes to, the difference between this and site build.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Kirchen, appreciate you, man. All right, the rest of you, we'll be back in just a few minutes. We are going to be live. I'm not sure exactly who just yet, because it's always evolving. Galliano and Paolo will be joining us at some point as well. They got caught up in a meeting, so we will be switching up here shortly. So stay tuned, and we'll come right back to you. Bye now.